Na lass schon, Fritz! Ist noch nicht Zeit!
Thank goodness for that visual, yes. Cutting it a bit fine, aren't they?
No, they'll be here on time.
Perhaps we should wait up at the barrier.
It's a bit nippy out there. You catch your death. You worry too much, Mr. Bishop.
You think so, Callan, do you?
Yeah. Look at him. He's not worried. He's got more reason to worry than any of us if this swap doesn't go through.
He can't be all that useful to them, not after 5 years.
You know, he hasn't said a word since we caught him 5 years ago. Not one blind word. And I suppose he'll even say goodbye. Well-trained man, that one.
Still, we haven't come badly out of the bargaining.
Yeah. Foreign Office beginning to feel pleased with itself, is it?
2 of ours for 1 of theirs.
But we give stamps.
You're very offhand, Callan, about the return of your agents.
Mr. Bishop, who said Mallory and Surtees were our agents?
I shouldn't have thought there's much point in persisting with the denial since Surtees made a full confession.
Yes, but there are all sorts of confessions.
Say, I was a bit surprised to learn you'd recruited a chap like that. Always struck me as a bit naive for your line of work.
You know him?
Hmm. We were up at Oxford.
Ja, Buchmann hier. Sie haben die Grenze überkreuzt, ja? Gut, danke.
Here we are then. Dead on time. Come on, Sonny Jim. You're going home. They've made the exchange.
Lassen Sie sehen, ob der Wagen schon hier ist, ja?
Right. A brief pause in your first steps into freedom, gentlemen, while we organize the transport and attend to a few necessary formalities. May I now take this opportunity of welcoming you back to the free world. I hope it will not be too long before the unfortunate experience of the past 5 years becomes no more than a distant, unhappy memory.
And may I take this opportunity of saying, the next one's on you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Very thoughtful of you.
Sorry, I could only find 3 cups.
Let me introduce Mr. David Callan.
Mr. Surtees, I should tell you that I'm authorized to take care of you for the next few weeks anyway.
To take care of me?
Yeah. Well, one of the things I have to do is keep the press off your back. I mean, they're bound to be around asking a lot of questions.
I have no objection to answering their questions.
No, of course you haven't. But then there's Rashid. There are 1 or 2 we want to ask you ourselves. That'll wait till we get to East Grinstead.
To where?
East Grinstead. We've got a nice little nursing home fixed up for you there. I think you'll like it. Have a good rest. Get a medical checkup, all at the government's expense.
For which government department do you work, Mr. Callan?
Well, I don't think you would have actually heard of us, Mr. Surtees. We fix things.
One of the security services?
You might say that, yes.
Oh, yes. You'll look after me. What I have to say will be said in the public press, not in a private nursing home. Bloody hell!
Sounds as though we're ready to leave. If you'll come with me, Surtees.
Here. You'd better look after me instead. What was all that about back there?
I don't know. Thought you'd tell me. Think he's come round the twist?
Possibly.
Was he all right on the journey?
Well, we came in separate cars. What interest does your section have in him?
I can't tell you that, you know it. So that's the first you've seen of him in 5 years?
Since they took me into that room in KGB headquarters to hear his confession.
Blew your sky eye, didn't he?
Me, Kuslov, Lebny, Surkov, half a dozen others. I've got things to say, Callan, and I've waited a long time to say them.
Feel free, if you pardon the expression.
I think I'll wait a bit longer until I meet the fool who used an incompetent amateur like Surtees as a courier.
Wasn't too bright, was it?
Bright. I had the lot out of him inside 24 hours. Names, covers, post boxes. Then they hauled me in, and he gave a repeat performance.
Under pressure?
Not so much as a slap on the wrist. In God's name, whatever possessed us to employ him?
That's just it, mate. We didn't.
You could have stopped him talking to the reporters.
Oh, blimey, what'd you expect me to do? Clobber him as soon as he opened his mouth, sir?
It might have made fractionally larger headlines.
Run that clip again, will you? Leave out the early stuff. Switch on the box, Callan. Now, you've met Callan, of course.
Yes. Last time we met, you were Foreign Office.
In addition to swearing and smoking, I also tell lies. This is bad, Hunter. This is very, very bad.
Who is he? That's all I want to know. Who is he?
All right, it's...
Now that you're safely home, Mr. Surtees, did you feel any bitterness towards the Soviet Union?
The conditions in the camp were harsh, but I was treated as they'd treat any other spy. No, I have no bitter feelings.
You're aware, of course, that official sources deny that you had any connection whatever with British intelligence?
Yes, I'm aware of that, and under the circumstances, I'm hardly surprised.
Under what circumstances?
Ones which reflect the greatest discredit on their methods.
In what way?
I was blackmailed into spying for British intelligence. When I publish my account of the affair, the public can judge for themselves the character of men who run our security services.
It's a very serious allegation, surely.
Yes, very serious. And now, if you don't mind, I won't answer any more questions at the moment.
What's he on about? Us. Not this department.
Don't be chauvinistic, Callan. It's all in the family.
I thought the point was that he wasn't in the family.
Not in my branch of it, certainly.
What exactly is your branch of it?
Anything's possible, Callan, you know that. Wires get crossed, memos get lost, wrong people see the wrong things. God knows what might have happened to that man, and he won't let us close enough to ask him.
Sounds like a speech for the defense, Hunter. We have to stop him.
Do you notice?
Oh, we don't want raised eyebrows. Bad for business.
Who is we?
Us.
What was it you said, sir, about the left hand not knowing what the right hand's doing?
Callan, all that you need to know is in the pecking order of the security game, we get first peck. Now, Surtees said, how did he put it? He was going to publish his own account of the affair?
Yes, you'll have half of Fleet Street hammering on his door to do him the favour.
I must apologize for intruding at a time like this. Unfortunately, in my business...
I'm afraid I didn't quite understand what your business is, Mr.
I'm with
Frost.
Metropolitan Syndications. We handle the publication rights for features and articles. Well, I'm here to make you an offer for your story. I trust you haven't yet disposed of it.
No.
Good, then I'm sure we can come to some arrangement. Our problem is, Mr. Surtees, how shall I put it?
Frankly, Mr. Cross.
Then, frankly, your experiences aren't exactly unique. Others have come back from Russian prisons and they all tell, well, more or less the same story.
Well, then why are you so anxious to obtain it?
It's rumored. There are certain elements in your story that might make it unusual.
I intend to make certain disclosures, Mr. Cross.
Mr. Surtees, we would like some idea of what we're buying.
A true account of how a citizen of this country was blackmailed into spying for British intelligence.
I would appreciate a little more detail.
As you may know, I was one of the founders of a movement called the Standing Movement for World Peace.
I remember that, yes.
My activities took me all over the world, especially to Eastern Europe. I met important people there, influential people. I had just returned from one such trip when the first approach was made. A man called to see me here at my flat. He didn't waste any time in coming to the point. He said he was from the SIS. The Secret Intelligence Service, the peacetime name for the MI5. He told me that it was my patriotic duty to cooperate with them, to work for them.
In what capacity?
As a general courier. They wanted me to find out who among my contacts in the East was sympathetic to the West.
And you wouldn't cooperate?
No. It would have been a gross betrayal of trust. I sent them packing. But that wasn't the end of it. About a fortnight later, I received a telephone call, quite late at night. The caller said that he was passing through London and that he had a letter for me from a mutual friend at Leningrad University. We met, had a drink, and he gave me the letter. And then, when I was leaving, I suddenly began to feel ill, dizzy. And my next clear recollection was waking up in my car several hours later.
Have you any idea what happened during those hours?
I was taken somewhere and photographed in bed with a girl. And when the next approach came, the photographs came with it.
I see.
Oh, yes. I'm quite sure you do. My wife was a chronic invalid, angina. And it was put to me that seeing the photographs might prove unfortunate. So, you see, I had no choice but to cooperate.
And your wife?
Died 5 years ago, shortly after my arrest. So the photographs are no good to anybody. You might tell that to Hunter. Will you?
How's he come to be familiar with a top-secret code name? How does he know there is a Hunter?
There is one possibility, sir.
What?
That he's telling the truth.
Oh, you did convince me, sir.
Now, come on. Look up the files. This department has been mixed up in some pretty dirty, dodgy operations, sir, isn't it? I mean, let's face it, a little light blackmail is something we do for relief.
Yes, well, I've been through the files. There's nothing in them that even hints at a situation of this kind.
I've been involved in some operations that would never make the files. Some of the fellows who sat behind that desk where you sit could play their cards pretty close to the chest.
It seems to me you're getting a certain smug satisfaction out of all this, Callan.
No. Well, let's face it, it had to happen. It really did have to happen, didn't it?
What had to happen?
Some dirty caper would catch up with us and bite us.
Well, maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. Cross, there's to be no further official contact with Surtees, but I want a round-the-clock watch kept on him.
His phone, sir?
Callan, take care of that. I also want photographs of everyone he meets, everyone who enters and leaves the building.
Right. How long do you think he'll take to write these articles?
God knows. I'll tell you one thing. He is not going to publish them.
Well, how are you going to stop him, sir?
By playing it close to the chest, if I have to. With your assistance.
Me again.
Why not?
You said for me to drop in sometime.
Yeah, come in.
Thanks.
I'd say what a nice place you got here, because I can't stand hypocrites.
I'm glad to see I didn't get you out of bed.
Oh, hardly ever go to bed these days. Can't sleep. Insomnia. Still, you should have phoned, you know. I haven't got a drop in the place. Got some brown ale, but that's flat.
Oh, that's all right.
You play?
Not recently. I was too busy making my quota of the little bastards.
Oh, yes. Sorry, bad memories.
Well, I can look at them without shuddering, but cabbage soup, that's different.
Sit down.
Thanks.
Don't play all that well myself, but that's why I'm studying the masters. Still, something to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
They finished with you at East Grinstead, have they?
They ran out of questions in 3 days. I ran out of answers in 2. So they turned me loose.
Oh, well...
That's the one.
Yeah, you're right. It's 12:30. You didn't just happen to be passing, did you?
No, I wanted to talk to you.
What about?
Surtees. He demolished my entire unit. We didn't have a chance. Now, I want Hunter to assign me to covering him.
Oh, no, I don't think he'd wear that.
Well, if you put in a word...
No, I'm sorry, mate. I wouldn't wear it either. After 5 years like your 5 years, I wouldn't trust you to know the day of the week. I mean, there's nothing personal, you understand?
All right, I'll ask somebody else.
Yeah, well, you do what you like, but I'm telling you, you're off, and that's a fact.
They say you're a bit off yourself.
That's how you'd notice, mate. You're moving it.
Yeah. My move. You can have your night back.
Ah, well, no, wait a minute. Oh, that's against the rules.
The rules are what we make them. And he's got his instructions.
What do you want about?
Surtees. Hasn't it occurred to anyone that he's working for them?
You're joking.
I am not. I'm taking Mallory onto the strength.
Blimey, he's only been back 10 minutes.
He's keen.
He's twitchy.
Unbalanced.
Look, sir, you know what I mean. I mean, I can't have a possible nut padding along beside me.
Incautious description, wouldn't you say, Hunter? From what I've heard, he wouldn't be the only one in this section who's living with a trauma.
It does get around, sir, doesn't it?
You'll agree that for someone who's twitchy, Mallory's come up with a very reasonable hypothesis. It isn't easy to do a good trick twice, but it is possible.
What's the good trick once?
When Surtees was arrested, if he was arrested, it didn't do our image any good.
All right. So it made you look like amateurs in the Bolshoi Ballet.
Quite. And it was far from all right. The Lubin network evaporated. 2 potential defectors developed cold feet and shocked their contacts. Vaslov went double. It was a massive loss of confidence, Callan. Nobody treads on a rotten step. KGB were onto Mallory's cell already. But the time came to blow the whistle. Surtees did it in the most damaging manner possible.
Don't be pig-headed, Callan. Admit the possibility.
I'm not being pig-headed, all right? All right, it's possible.
So, having discredited the SIS once, he's all set to do it again. Well, now that we know the blackmail story is no more than a cover, we can concentrate on stopping him.
What do you mean, now that we know? I said he's possible.
You have things to do, Callan. I
do.
won't detain you.
Yes, sir.
I'm not too happy about his involvement in this.
Callan has special qualities, and I'm not too happy about being told how to run my section.
My dear chap, I wouldn't dream of it.
Good.
Unless it became absolutely necessary.
Look, I've agreed to accept Mallory. That's as far as I'm prepared to go.
That's as far as we want you to go at the moment. We like to have someone on the inside. Tell me, do you also accept his theory?
Theory doesn't have to be right, does it? Just has to work.
No, this one does. We had word from Moscow this morning. They've put a new man in the field.
Oh, much obliged, sir. Oh, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. This is the best you can do, is it? I mean, this is the best job you can get. Harry's strip bar lavatory attendant.
Hygiene operative.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
It's honest work, Mr. Callan.
Yeah, that's not all that's wrong with it. I've been looking for you, do you know that?
Didn't want to get found.
No. Just go up there, check that we can talk, will you? Go on. Right, I've got a job for you.
Look, I don't want to know about it, Mr.
No, it's nice and easy. The block of flats made of Vale. No dog, no burglar alarm. Nice, easy drain pipe at the back.
But, Mr. Callan,
20 quid in it for you, Lonely. 20 quid for doing nothing. All you do is climb in, open the door, and scarper.
Look, Mr. Callan, I'm not interested in that. This may not seem much to you, but it's better than a nick. I've got my own room here. Everything.
Everything. I mean, you know, there's the tips as well, aren't there? 6pence. Mind you, I don't wonder at it. Because, I mean, when you think about it, these wash basins are filthy, aren't they? I mean, they really are. They're absolutely disgusting. I mean, look at the mess around here. Absolutely disgusting mess, eh? I mean, everywhere you look, filth, filth, filth. You know, I reckon that if I made a complaint to the management would listen to my complaint. You know that?
Don't do that.
No,
If I just want to be left
really would get this place cleaned up.
No,
I've never seen a loo so dirty in my life. I've seen a lot of loos, but I've never seen one so dirty as this.
I mean,
get on your hands and knees and scrub it. You know, scrub it. It's disgusting.
Mr. Callan, you did say 25 quid.
15.
Noisy down here. It's dead parky and all. Look, I could get a nice little fire going with these things.
Look, mate, it's bad enough being cooped up with you for 3 hours without having you steaming as well.
Yeah, well, I'm always inclined to sweat a bit before the job.
So I've noticed. Well, if you don't take a bath, at least take a walk sometimes.
You never told me nothing about this being a daylight job.
Yes, sir, it is. He's taking a taxi.
Right, you're doing a taxi to get a pack of fags. Off you go.
I better stay on his tail.
No, James. Listen. He might be coming back. I want you up at that telephone box on the corner in case he does, all right?
All right.
Take your time, won't you? Take your bloody time.
Well, that was all a bit dodgy, that. A drain pipe is dead shaky at the top. They wouldn't have that seen to. A person could get killed coming up a thing like that. Here. What do you want to lock this for?
We don't want him coming in on us, do we?
But, I mean, you said I could just scarp her.
It's a pity about that, isn't it? Open it. Oh, come on.
What are we looking for?
Something twice as coloured and half as long.
You are?
Oh, come on. Losing your touch.
Blimey, you're not going to read right through, eh?
No. Of course I'm not. There's nothing I like half as much as curling up in bed with a nice photo stack.
Oh. Well, in that case, you won't want me hanging round, eh?
I'm too right, I won't want you hanging round. You follow that telephone cable, see where it ends up. I want to put a bug in it. All right, that's it. Close the desk up. Put the lamp back in. Hello?
Is that Mr. Surtees?
Mr. Surtees speaking, yeah. Who's that?
My friends call me Freddy. You can do the same. When I saw in the papers that you were back, I thought, now, wouldn't it be nice if we met and had a chat?
What about?
Well, for a start, we could talk about the girl in that photograph.
God knows I didn't expect anything as bad as this. How much did you read, Callan?
Well, not much. I didn't get any time.
Is it serious?
On the following Tuesday, I met Hunter at the usual place. He said that an agent of the CIA in Holland was, to use his own words, rocking the boat. The agent's name was Schipper.
Schipper? Amsterdam.
Yeah. The agent's name was Schipper, and he would have to be liquidated. I asked him what he meant, and he told me that since the Americans had already killed one British agent, this would be in the nature of a reprisal. In May 1965, Schipper of the CIA was found dead in his hotel room. I protested that I was not a trained killer. Hunter assured me that my role would be simply that of a courier. The actual murder would be done by one of his section.
He knows the names, the dates, and the places.
This, believe me, is one of the more innocuous of the allegations.
Who did kill Schipper?
KGB. Poison. But if this ever sees the light of day, there may be second thoughts on the matter.
I take it there's no point in denying it?
Well, since we've been denying any connection with Surtees for the past 5 years, I doubt if that would surprise anyone. And the way these facts are presented, and I emphasize facts, makes our involvement only too credible. And it lends credence to other parts of his story.
Such as, sir?
Interference in domestic politics. How does that sound?
Yeah, explosive.
So, this man knows all about our section, but doesn't work for us.
Let's face it, Callan, here we have a who's who and what's what of this department, all highly authentic. Now, who would make it their business to find that out, huh? Only the opposition. Only the opposition.
Can I help you? I'm Freddy.
Hello, Freddie. I'm just window shopping, you know.
No harm in that. Your hobby, is it?
Hmm? Oh, photography, yeah. Oh, yes, it is, yes. Well, in an amateur sort of way, you know. Got all the gear together. I'm just raring to get started.
Good stuff.
Well, I've got a box brownie and a roll of film. What more do you need?
Some of them don't even need the roll of film. You have to be a member of the club, of course. We can't just have people wandering in and banging away with a camera, can we?
Oh, Lord, no. Of course we can't. Of course we can't. How much is it?
£10 a year.
Oh, that's very exclusive, isn't it? Is it cheque, cash, or banker's order?
Cash.
Cash.
It's always cash. £3 a session, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Would you care to enroll for a session, Mr. Smith, was it?
Surtees.
My. You haven't half changed since I saw you on the telly.
Oh, you're witty with it. I work for Mr. Surtees.
I see. Yeah. Private inquiry?
Well, you might say that, yes, you might say that. Oh, Mr. Surtees, he's hardly the sort of gentleman who can go hoofing it all over London after every phone call he gets. You did phone, didn't you?
I might have done. What's your name?
Smith.
Good guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Mr. Surtees is very, very interested in this girl in the photograph.
He would be, wouldn't he? How much is he interested? And I do mean, how much?
Well, Mr. Surtees has authorised me to go as high as 50 quid for the information.
He'll have to do a bit better than that. Oh, a lot better than that. He'll be making a few pennies from these newspaper articles he's doing.
Yeah, Freddie, I think I should also tell you that Mr. Surtees has authorised me to tear your ears off if I have to.
Ah, don't you start getting muscular with me.
I know, doll. You'll scream the place down. That's nice. That camera. Isn't that camera nice? Very nice. You can see that beautifully made, that camera. I mean, it's precision made. And it must be very, very delicate.
Here,
isn't it delicate? Put it down. What was it?
Put the damn thing down.
This price, 110, I'd say.
Oh, all right. There's no need to bend the furniture and fittings.
Right. Now, 5 years ago...
This fella came to see me.
Name?
He said his name was Hunter.
Said his name was Hunter, did he? He just walked in on you, Freddie, did he?
Oh, no. He'd been here a couple of times before. He said he wanted a model for some special work, so I fixed him up with Bernice.
Bernice?
Jean, as a matter of fact.
Jean
Forbes.
Jean Forbes.
Jean Price.
Jean
Mrs.
Price?
Yeah.
I see. What's her name now, Freddie, now?
I told you. She's Mrs. Jean Price now. She got out of the game, did very well for herself, married well. Anyway, she took it on. She did very well out of it, too. $2.50 nicker.
$2.50 nicker, Freddie, for a dirty postcard?
There was a bit more to it than that. Oh, I didn't know anything about it. Not till 6 months later, when your Mr. Surtees got himself arrested in Moscow. Jean comes flying round, tells me the whole story, asks me what she's going to do. Keep your mouth shut, dear, I told her. He won't be around for the next 10 years.
Feature editor here.
Oh, good afternoon. Surtees here.
Oh, yes.
I thought I'd let you know that I've finished the rough draft.
Splendid.
Just a few revisions to make. It needs some polishing, of course, but no doubt your people can see to that.
Yes, of course. I look forward to reading it.
Good. Then I can let you have it tomorrow.
Very nice dog. You can see it's a thoroughbred. Mrs. Price?
As it happens, he is a thoroughbred. And as it happens, I am Mrs. Price. Do I know you?
No. I've just been up to your flat. One of your neighbours said that you always walk your dog along here at this time of the day. Anyway, I'd know you by your photographs.
Who are you?
A friend of Freddie's.
What do you want?
Well, why don't we go back to your place? Talk about it there, eh?
If Freddie said that, then Freddie's a liar.
Hello, Mrs. Price. Don't let's start off on the wrong foot. I don't care what you were or what you did.
I was a photographer's model.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, of course there's not. Not to me. I'm broad-minded.
And so is my husband, if you've any thoughts in that direction. He knows all about my association with Freddie.
Oh, I like that. I do like that. Perfect honesty and trust. A great basis for a happy marriage. Just tell him about Surtees as well.
Never heard of the man.
You wouldn't know him then if you saw him?
No.
No. That's funny because he'd know you. Because he was drugged at the time. But they would have to show him the photographs, wouldn't they? I mean, there'd be no point in it if they didn't show him the photographs. They haven't faded much with the years, Mrs. Price.
I've got nothing to say to you.
Well, perhaps your husband will have something to say to me. Do you mind if I wait for him?
It'll be a long wait. He's in America on a business trip.
Well, don't mess me about, darling.
Don't you bloody
I want
speak to me
information.
like that. Who the hell do you think you are?
I want information, right? I want to know who took the photographs. I want to know where they were taken. I want to know now.
Good day, Mr. Whoever you are. It hasn't been a pleasure. You're wasting your time.
Yes. And I haven't got much to waste. But then none of us have we, Mrs. Price?
Yes, of course. I look forward to reading it. Good. Then I can let you have it tomorrow.
Tomorrow? He delivers tomorrow. We're under pressure.
We?
This section.
Right. It's a mess, Hunter, your mess. Clean it up any way you like, but do it before tomorrow.
Who is it? Oh.
You alone?
Yes, sir, yes, I'm alone.
Invite me in. Close the door.
You're in? Door's closer.
It's the best we could find you.
Yes, sir, thank you very much for asking. I believe it is. I believe it was also turned down by shelter, sir.
No, sirs, Callan, on this occasion, save them for official contact.
Blind O'Reilly. It's social.
Not official, not social. Didn't happen. I was never here.
Oh, I see, sir. Yes. Well, supposing you were here, sir, what would you want to talk about?
Might want to think aloud. About Surtees.
Oh. Well, I would try not to disturb you.
We could make it official. Wouldn't tax our resources to compile a file and dossier.
Yeah, we could give him an OBE.
Something's a sort of possibility. Distinguished service for his country, in consequence suffering complete mental breakdown.
I think it must have been the way I said that, sir. I was being sarcastic.
I was not.
Well, there's only one thing wrong with that, and that is that Surtees would never wear it.
No, David, the award or whatever would have to be posthumous.
You don't expect him to drop dead then, just to please you, do you?
No. Which is why we're having this private talk.
You get knotted, sir.
I see we've become formal again.
Oh, yeah, to a right we have. You get off my back, mate. I'm telling you, you want a chopping done, you write out a chit.
There's to be no record, no order, nothing official.
I'm telling you, sir. You want a killing? You give an order direct, straight in front of witnesses.
You're certain he is not KGB?
I'm not certain of anything.
Either way, he's a time bomb. Defuse him before he goes off. Just accept the situation. You won't have to feel guilty about it. Not about anything. There's a service entrance at the back of Surtees' flat. Use that. Mallory or Cross will be on surveillance, and I don't want you seen. Make it look like suicide. And don't forget to collect his notes. I was never here, and we never spoke about this.
the hell do you want?
Settle for a chat.
I'm not in a conversational mood. Get out.
Mr. Surtees, these articles you're writing, why don't you just drop it?
Why should I?
Because there's not a grain of truth in any of them.
How would you know? Since you haven't read them. You might have saved yourself a lot of trouble, Mr. Callan, but maybe perhaps you just preferred saving yourself the price of a newspaper.
Oh, believe me, you've been had, and it's happened to better men than you.
Prove it.
We'll prove it, just give us time.
No. I'm satisfied that your organization is responsible.
It was KGB. There was a man posing as Hunter.
The Russians? Oh, really?
Mr. Surtees, what do you expect? Snow on his boots?
Good night, Mr. Callan.
I'll get it.
Well, I'm here.
So I see. Come in.
Who is this?
I believe you have met before, but I don't expect you'd remember the occasion.
I remember the photograph.
No, don't bother. Leave it.
Get her out of here!
Yeah, I will. I'll get her out of here as soon as I find out what she's doing here.
You phoned me. You told me to meet you at this address.
Did I? Why should I do that?
You wanted to do a deal about the photograph. Look, I've been thinking it over. I'll tell you what you want to know if you promise that my husband never finds out.
I promise your husband will find out if you don't tell me.
Get out, both of you!
Be quiet a minute, will you? Sit down.
Get out!
Please, be quiet! Right, Mrs. Price. Get on with it.
I was working for Freddie at the time.
Yeah, you can skip that. I want to know who hired you.
He said his name was Hunter.
Yeah, well, he would, wouldn't he? Where'd he take you?
He picked me up from Freddie's. It was late. About 10 o'clock, I think. We went to an address in Camden Town.
In Camden Town? What address?
I can't remember. It was 5 years ago.
Describe it, girl. Describe it.
Well, it was an old terrace house in a back street. We went upstairs. 2 flights, I think. And into a room, a bedroom. There was a man in the bed asleep.
Him?
Yes.
I won't listen to any more of
this! Please! It's important, Mr. Surtees. Now, please! Right, now, apart from this fella who said he was Hunter, is anybody else there?
Another man with a camera, a flash camera. He took some photographs.
Well, go on.
You don't need the details, do you?
God, what price modesty? In your case, 250 quid,
Was
wasn't
the best payment I ever had.
All right, I'm sorry. Now, look, this place, this Camden Town house, could you describe it? I mean, would you know it again?
Well, I think so.
Well, think hard. It was a small terrace house. Now, was it near the canal, with a pub on one corner and a bottling factory on the other?
There was a place that looked like a factory.
And these 2 men, would you be able to identify them again?
Yes.
Right, thank you, Mrs. Price. You may have to do just that.
What the hell are you playing at, Callan?
Oh, now, don't you stop. Don't talk to anybody, not discuss it, right? And don't get lost. I'll contact you.
You're looking very pleased with yourself, Callan.
Mr. Surtees, 18 months ago, we closed up an opposition house in Camden Town. Now, shall I tell you about your Mr. Hunter? His name is Rowan, or Soames, but he was born Vasily. He was born in Archangel in 1923. His job is espionage, and his employer is the Committee for State Security.
The KGB?
Exactly. And his present whereabouts, Wormwood Scrubs.
Just going out to relieve Mallory's, sir. Any change in the instruction?
No. Just watch and wait. Watch and wait.
Right, sir.
We've cracked it, sir.
Vasily?
Hiya. What's new?
I'm not sure. Listen. The phone's been ringing for the last 5 minutes. He doesn't answer.
Perhaps he's going to bed.
The light's still on in the lounge.
You're sure you haven't missed him?
I'm positive.
If Vasily was not an imposter...
He was, sir, I'm sure of it. Listen, Surtees gave a very detailed description of him. All he's got to do is see the photograph, he'll recognise him. Just doesn't sit right. Well, it sits better than it did 2 hours ago. Look, Surtees has already agreed to withhold publication.
I'm not underestimating. I'll get onto the scrubs tomorrow.
Hunter. Cross, sir. I'm in Surtees' flat. Something serious. It's been shot.
Stay put. Be right over. So we've cracked it, have we?
Huh?
Back of the head. That won't pass for suicide unless he was a contortionist.
So the papers are gone.
You sure?
Yeah, turn the place upside down.
And the first thing's to get rid of this body, organise a cross, pack some things in his suitcase.
All right.
Mrs. Price came here to collect the notes and photographs.
There weren't any photographs, sir.
She thought there was. I want those notes. Take Mallory. Hope you get them.
What are you doing here?
Right, you take the room down there. I'll do this one.
Look, what do you want? Will you tell me what you want? Stop it!
Look at the notes.
For God's sake, stop it! What are you looking for?
The notes, darling, the notes.
What notes?
The notes you found in Surtees' desk after you'd knocked him off.
He's dead?
He's very dead.
But I didn't do it. I left before you did.
That's right. You left before I did. Then you went back, didn't you, into the flat? What did you do, hang about upstairs on the landing?
Why would I want to do a thing like that?
As if you didn't know.
I'm telling you the truth.
There's no sign of them, but I found this.
No. He's lying. I don't have a gun.
I want those notes, Mrs. Price. I really need them. And I'll get them if I have to break your neck.
There's an extension in the bedroom.
Hello?
Mrs. Price?
Yes.
Tell Mr. Callan Hunter I'd like a word with him.
It's...
Oh, who is it? Come on, who is it?
It's Hunter.
Yes?
Callan?
Yes.
This is Charlie speaking.
I've got you, Charlie.
When you went visiting tonight, did you use the service entrance?
Yes?
Both entering and leaving?
No, went out by the front.
Thought you might have done. Odd we haven't got a picture of you.
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
Get out!
Look, it's all over, darling. Now shut up!
The notes. Boot of Mallory's car. Came damn near to sinking us, didn't he? Because when you'd gone on to Mrs. Price, you couldn't risk her giving a game away, causing Surtees to have second thoughts.
Yeah. I must have damn near bumped into him as he came up the stairs.
Probably. He telephoned, but of course, throws off the track. Nearly succeeded.
What do we do about Mrs. Price?
Well, there are good reasons why she should remain very discreet.
Just supposing she doesn't, sir.
You still owe us a debt, Callan.